where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
That is not winning football.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
The defense can only play this good for so long.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
This week, it's really going to be crucial.
The Sports Blitz.
They're playing championship football.
The new Sports Blitz.
You can say what you want.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Thursday, it's 4 o'clock right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, and we are pumped up and ready to go. We are a little rainy today, but inside it's dry, and we've got a full house on dock for you today. Man, I'm pumped up. We've got a lot to talk about. As always, on a Thursday, we got Stone Cold Brian Austin in the building from the Lone Star Bowl House. How you doing today, Stone Cold?
Doing good, man. Ready for tonight.
Oh, yes. Jeffrey is here. How you doing, Jeffro?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, looking good. Wearing your green.
Yeah.
Wearing your green. Okay.
I feel I didn't even have like a team shirt today. You got the Tide.
Yeah.
He's got Tennessee over here, and he's got the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even wear a team shirt today.
You got Tulane on. Here we go.
Oh, Green Wave. There you go.
And Tennessee Brandon making it happen on a Thursday. Good to see you today, Brandon.
Good to see you, man. We were missing that last week, so happy to be back in this week.
Oh, yeah. And as always, on Thursday, we got Bone Crusher making it happen in the glass bubble. How you doing, Bone Crusher?
Man, tomorrow, 5 o'clock, your chance to win tickets to see the Jacksonville Jaguars destroy the Jets. We're giving those out tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Write that down.
Oh, yeah. You better write it down because it's going to be awesome. We got a special reminder of that, but we also have a special guest for tomorrow. I'm going to announce it at the 5 o'clock hour today, and you don't want to miss that one. So, guys, we got to talk about it. Number one, because Stone Cold Brian Austin's in the building. How about them Texas Longhorns? Come on.
Man, that was a good week for me last week.
You just smile. I mean, he's so smiley. His eyes are squinted. He's so smiley.
Look, not only did we win.
Come on.
We did what I said we had to do to win that game. I said the turnovers were going to determine that game, and Marcel Reed turned that ball over.
He did.
And that's what it was.
He looked totally different, and Arch played well. I mean, he did.
Arch played great. They ran the ball. I mean, Wisner.
Yes, Wisner played really good.
Yes.
When I was watching the game, I was like, I wonder what Brian's doing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, and we won't talk about what you were doing at that moment. But I knew you were happy, though, because I was like, yep, I know that the Lone Star Bowl House is probably ecstatic right now.
Yeah.
So Texas is, we got to talk about it.
Yep.
So they're out right now.
Basically.
It's looking like they're out. And, I mean, so there's a lot of things we got to push through. And, guys, anybody that wants to jump in. But when you look at the poll, how it's set up, and you see what they did to Notre Dame, that's the deal, okay? Let's talk about that for a second. I know we've been discussing this, but I really want to dive into this a little bit. So you've got Notre Dame. They were ranked 9th before. And then they won in way better fashion than Alabama did.
Yeah.
And then Alabama jumps them and pushes them down. Now, a lot of people have been talking about it. Obviously, Sark made some big-time statements after the game, and even into this week. He's already talked about it. But is that something that we're looking at with the committee? Are we thinking maybe they're hearing the people and they're pulling Notre Dame down? They're pulling them back?
Well, last year, the whole thing about this was the strength of schedule. That was made the biggest point, and why Greg Sankey thought the SEC would be good going forward playing 9 games, because it would raise our strength of schedule. However, I don't know how true that'll be. The reason, my reason, in my opinion, why Notre Dame got bumped back, tell me, Alabama's strength of schedule, is it better than Notre Dame's?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
100%. Easy. We're sitting here. They should have been not as high as they are. I think the reason they got bumped back, honestly, not only does, Alabama, I think Alabama is a way better team than Notre Dame, but I think they're preparing themselves for that Miami-Notre Dame controversy.
Yeah.
Because the head-to-head, they say, does not matter unless they're in the same category. And right now, when, with Hurricanes being 12, Notre Dame being 10, they're right there. So that head-to-head should matter. It should.
And so that's what Sark was talking about, Brian. Yep. So when you hear what he said, and he made these statements, this is a statement that Steve Sarkisian made. He said, if you keep us out of the playoffs, knowing what we've had to go through, who we've played, who we've beat, and you're telling me that we're supposed to have a strength of schedule deal, and you keep us out, we will not play Ohio State next year.
Nor should you. It's bad for the fans. We all want to see those games. TVs want to see those games. That's huge ratings. But if the committee that we have right now is going to drop you because of that game and not value everything, it just makes no sense what the committee is putting value on right now. Because Notre Dame, they have no value. Top 25 win all year against USC?
Yeah, one.
You lost both games at the beginning of the year. I don't care if they've won 10 in a row or not.
I think they're honestly penalizing y'all for your bad loss. Now, you could have beat that Florida team and lost to Oklahoma, and I think y'all would make your way in. It's the bad loss I think they're penalizing you for. Do I think y'all to totally deserve not to make it in? No. I think there's definitely an argument that y'all are playing some of your best football at the end of the season.
Yeah, nobody wants to see Texas right now. Nobody.
When you look at it, though, because yesterday you were very staunch with playing better teams. You said about Auburn, about Alabama, playing Mercer in Southeast Louisiana.
That's what I want to see.
You're a big proponent of that, but I am not, because everybody needs to get to the playoff. And if you're going to play Ohio State, then by golly, I should be rewarded for that. If I'm going to lose by 7 at the shoe against Ohio State, you should not hold that against me and allow Notre Dame or North Texas or JMU, all these other small schools, they lost 1 game. Yeah, but who did they play?
Exactly.
Cupcake Judy, right? So that's where I'm going with this. I believe it. I think it's a valid point, and I think you're kind of moving to our side about it.
No, it's a difference between what I want to see and
what's best for
best for that school.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It's 2 totally separate things. I want to see good regular season games, and apparently this whole ranking system is kind of messing over teams like Texas.
Yes, and Vanderbilt.
And Michigan. Don't forget about them.
Miami. Because
Michigan, they lost the second biggest Big Ten SEC matchup of the year. They lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But I will disagree with him on 3 losses, and usually the saying is 3 losses and you're out.
Typically.
If they lost to Oklahoma and they were 9-3 because, they beat the Gators, they would still be out. Would they be? Because right now they're not the second team out; they're the third team out. They're not even close right now in the conversation.
Yeah, but if you're Texas and you've lost to number 3 Ohio State, number 6 Oklahoma, and number 5 Georgia, I think they get in. That is. Yeah. You're talking about almost 3 top 5.
And if Indiana drops out, if they lose to Ohio State and Georgia beats Alabama by 10, I'm just throwing a number out there.
Yeah.
Georgia could possibly be the second best team in the league. So then you lost the number 1 and number 2, Ohio State and Georgia.
Yeah.
Then Texas is,
your resume, and that's what happens now. You got to remember that too. And see, I don't agree with the whole how the resume works out, because when you look at it, what they were at the beginning of the year is so much different than what they are at the end. And it could be positive or negative, or it could be negative or positive, because you could be a Notre Dame team that loses at the beginning of the year, but like you said, runs off and starts really getting stronger and all that. And I understand that point. But then you've got a Texas point to where you're not playing your greatest football. You lose, you throw it, you played pretty good against Ohio State, but you probably should have won that game because it really was some bad offense. It was bad offense, bad football.
Yeah.
And then when you get down to it, and then you lose to Florida, but then after Florida, like you said, one of the top tier teams in the country right now. Same thing with Vanderbilt, even though their strength of schedule isn't as strong as Texas to me. And so when you look at it, the whole strength of schedule, it changes through the year because of how people get ranked. But we're still talking about it's like the whole thing about the playoffs has really destroyed, realistically, the best teams in the country. Because what are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? We want the best 12 teams playing for the championship at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Well, we're not getting that.
No.
We're getting fair. We want to be fair. Okay, well, I got the solution for you, committee. You add 16. You give your 3 teams that you want to make fair, but give me the 13 best teams in the country, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through. Forget all the bye stuff. Cut one of those cupcake games out at the middle or the end of the season, whatever they do. Add it to where 1 plays 16, 2 plays 15, and all the way through, and then you'll find out who your champion is, and then that way you'll put it all to rest. Is that perfect? Absolutely not. No. But there's no perfect scenario in this. But 12 doing it like they're doing right now, trying to be fair, you're going to have the whole
not giving an ACC an automatic bid. ACC has no business. None. I mean, it's ridiculous. We're going to have possibly Duke in the playoff.
Actually, no.
Duke won't make it. No.
It'll be Virginia.
No, they rewrote the rules.
Yeah.
ACC does not have a
no, I know they don't. I know
bid,
the top five
conference winners, but you have to be ranked.
Look,
so if Duke's not ranked at 8 and 5, guess what?
They're not getting in.
Well, you're right. They're not
can't.
getting in. But for argument's sake, I'm going to tell you, Duke could beat Virginia, and as long as James Madison and North Texas or Tulane win, those 2 teams are going to be in. And
That's
Duke's
garbage.
This is awful, though. I mean, those first 2 teams are going to have a bye, basically, getting to play JMU.
Yeah. Texas Tech is going to beat North Texas.
I mean, it's pointless. That doesn't make good TV.
I mentioned to Paul a couple weeks ago that the ACC doomsday scenario, and it's back into play. And if Duke wins, Duke doesn't go, Virginia doesn't go, then your highest ranked ACC team was Miami. And they're going to be rooting for BYU to lose.
Oh yeah,
or BYU. Yeah, I mean to knock them out. There's going to have to be some things that for the ACC to get in. There is a very possible chance, and I would probably, if I had to pick, I'm going to pick Duke to beat Virginia, and there's going to be a crazy scenario
because you want to get the best teams, and that's where I kind of go back to. We set a playoff for one reason and one reason only, not to give everybody a trophy, but to find out who the best team in the country is. Yeah. Because the old system wasn't working correctly, because you had an AP champion, then you'd have this champion, and then you'd have all this split stuff. Well, now we finally got 12, and it's not working correctly because the committee's not doing what they're supposed to do. And that's really where we're at. And if you can say what you want, there's not going to be perfect scenarios. But if you go with a 16 team, and I know it messes up some stuff, but if you go 16, then you can have all of the teams plus your fair teams that your North Texas, your JMU, your Tulanes, and then it'll just be what it's going to be. One will play 16, two will play 15, and work it all the way down.
Yeah, I mean, the 12-man, the 12-team playoff, I think would have been absolutely perfect if it was 2020. 2021, something like that. Yeah. But now that NIL and the transfer portal and all this money has been spread around, you can see all the talented teams. 2 years ago, there were only, 1 or 2 teams, maybe 3 outside the top 12 we were arguing. Man, we're sitting here talking about 4 or 5 teams outside the top 12 that could potentially, deserve a chance or, just to be included per the rules, North Texas or JMU, something like that. I mean, we're sitting here talking about 5 or 6 teams. So I don't think 12 is the solution anymore. anymore. It may have been 3 or 4 years ago, but I think with the talent being spread, the money being spread, you're going to have a lot better teams out there.
There's too much money involved.
Yeah, and you go back to Texas at the beginning of the year. They lost to who everybody. I mean, you hear these knuckleheads out of all these speaking shows saying that Ohio State is this great conglomerate of a team, and they might be the best team that they've ever seen, or that the best defense they've ever seen, and all of this stuff. Okay, well, that's fine. If that's what you really believe, then Texas deserves to be in there because they lost at their house 7 points.
Yeah.
And it was it was one of the most terrible games Texas played all year, and they still only lost by 7 points to who everybody's saying is the clear-cut favorite to win the national title. Mm-hmm. So what's the problem? That's what I'm saying. If we're talking about best on best, that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
they will make changes next year. There's no way. I mean, Vandy is making too much noise right now. Texas is definitely going to make a lot of noise not getting in. I mean, they're not going to be able to silence it. They have to change it next year.
Why would you schedule anybody tough at the beginning of the year if it's going to hurt you?
And I mean, Alabama already dropped USF next year. I mean, I know it's USF, but they replaced them with a FCS team.
Yeah.
I mean, and Texas won't be the first one to drop Ohio State. Other teams are going to follow suit.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then, honestly, the other conferences need to all drop Notre Dame. If you're a Power 4 conference, don't play Notre Dame anymore. Make them join a conference. Yep. If this is a problem with them getting this easy thing, make them earn it. Move to the ACC or 100%. Whatever. At least you got to run through the ACC, and then you can get your automatic thing. Don't play them. Exactly. Do not play them out of conference.
Don't give them the cakewalk. No. Don't give them the notoriety to get in.
I don't know if you noticed, I'm sorry for admitting this, but I looked at UConn, who's an independent, a little bit this year. And they went 9-3, had Jim Moore Jr. as the coach, and they didn't play anybody. Like, they beat Duke, and they lost to, who was it? There was some trash ball team that they lost to. They played literally nobody. It was unimpressive. But they went 9-3. I mean, they all need to join conferences. Notre Dame definitely needs to. But what I'm hating also on the Texas end is that, so now you drop Ohio State. They're not even going to want to go play Texas Tech because that's a potential. I'm not saying it's a potential loss, but in some given year, once every 10 years, it might be. So you're going to go play UTEP Miners, or New Mexico State.
Awful.
I mean, 9 SEC games, I don't blame any conference from playing 3 cupcake games and then playing 9 tough scheduled games. I mean, I can't blame them.
We're going to go to the Red 17's phone line. We've got Ed on the phone. And Ed, how are you doing today, my friend?
I feel like I'm going to throw up. Man, I see all that Cowboys gear on that little boy over there. I want to throw up right now, man.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh, come on, man. I'm from Texas, man. I believe
how you from Texas and don't like Cowboys?
Barbecue and the Second Amendment and Jesus. But that's too much Cowboys. That's too much Texas right there. That's too much right there. I'm joking. But, what I was going to say is, I got friends down here that are huge Cowboys fans and stuff like that. And we I don't know if we still call them America's team, but honestly, what would it take for the Dallas Cowboys to be great again? Honestly.
Jerry Jones leave.
Agreed. Jerry Jones to get out of Jerry Jones's way. I mean, to be honest with you.
Jerry Jones only leaving one way.
Yeah, that's right. In a box.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, I remember watching the ESPN thing where everyone was from the University of Miami, Oklahoma. I mean, in my next follow-up, I guess, is if Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson didn't get into a huge argument back in the day, could they have still worked it out and they would have still been a great team throughout?
I mean, this is the deal for me as far as where that goes. I think Jimmy Johnson, they could have had longevity, but that team and what they did was so special, and I'm just not so sure they could keep bringing in new pieces and getting rid of and replacing those Hall of Famers with new pieces. I mean, I think Jimmy Johnson is a very smart man. He knows when to get out, and I think that's what happened. I mean, you had Emmitt Smith getting older. they got Sherman Williams to back him up, but Sherman got in trouble with the law, so that wasn't a solving. And then, they started getting older and the defense started, having to leave and that kind of thing. So if you remember all of those teams, they would jump back and forth with the 49ers with their players. Deion came over, Ken Norton Jr. came over, and all of those guys started, kind of rotating a little bit, building those super teams, basically what I would call them. And then what happened is once Jimmy left and Barry Switzer come in and won one with all of Jimmy's players, and then as you could see, it kind of unfolded with all the Hall of Famers. Brian, you agree with that?
I do. Yeah. But we're back.
He said they're back.
I heard Miami Hurricanes say that this year.
So I wanted to call in. That was really my main question. I want to give old boy a hard time, but I'm listening to y'all, enjoying it. It looks like a good group of guys today, man. And the show's rocking and rolling. So y'all keep up the good work, y'all. All right.
All right, Ed. Thank you so much for the call.
Jimmy Johnson would have won 2 titles instead of Barry Switzer winning 1, just with those players.
I agree with that.
And then through either trades and I want to say a little bit of luck, I think he would have won with like a Tony Romo or something like that. He would have had something else to maybe piece together to run and maybe get a 5th Super Bowl. Could you imagine that coach in that scenario at the Dallas Cowboys, if Jerry Jones hadn't screwed everything up, they would have had 5 titles.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. It's just hard to longevity. It's hard because you got Hall of Famers wanting Hall of Fame contracts. And when you can't pay the money, and we know how Jerry is, you got to be very careful with that. And I believe that's really where, I think that was the breaking point. I know they don't say it out loud, but I think Jimmy wanted to pay those guys more money to keep them and or bring in more people. I disagree with you on the Tony Romo thing. I don't think he could have won a championship.
Well, do you think Troy Aikman's a top 10 quarterback of all time? No.
I don't think top 10 of all time, but I do put him in the 20. I put him in 20, top 20. And you got to think, too. I mean, look at the wide receivers that he had. I mean, Alvin Harper was fantastic.
Michael Irvin
was great. Novacek was great.
And Emmitt Smith's the top 5 of all-time running backs.
Moose Johnson was good. I mean, all of those guys. Plus, the defense was fantastic. Russell Maryland and those guys. Darren Woodson, George Teague.
I mean, that Bills... The 93 year? Yeah, that Bills blowout was just horrific. It was jaw-dropping. And then next year, the Bills, they had a bullseye on that Dallas team. And they were leading at halftime. Yeah. They were out for blood. They were up for that game. And the Cowboys still beat them down. They beat them by 17, 30-13.
Yeah, just, and that's where you look at how these teams that were so good, but during a run like that, they don't really get there. I mean, they give the Buffalo Bills and the Mafia and all that, they give them their due. But, man, if they would have been playing at any other time but that time, then it's like, gosh, it's just like whenever the Steelers made their run in the early 80s and all, how they were dominant, the steel curtain and all that. So it's just like, gosh, and then having to play against Montana and the 49ers during those years was, running into those guys. So,
I mean, wrap your head around that. They won 3 titles in 4 years with Aikman, who's not a top 10 quarterback. They had so much talent at every position, even punter and field goal kicker.
Okay, but I know you're saying that top 10 ever, but at the time, during those
he was
years,
third.
He was probably top 10 during the years.
Yeah.
He was top 10
because you know why?
during the years.
Let me tell you, and you know what the rivalry back then was, if you can remember, it was 49ers Cowboys, because the Giants have kind of fell down at that time, right? And Favre's over here just licking his lips. He's like, one of these two teams got to fall out. We got to fall out, because it was going to be Favre's time eventually. And it's shocking that he only won one Super Bowl, because he lost the second one to Elway. Finally got his way.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, 5 titles if Jimmy Johnson had stayed there.
I agree. Now let's talk about tonight. We got Thursday night football. You got something going on at the Lone Star Bull House tonight?
Oh, yeah, man.
What you got?
Dallas Cowboy watch party.
Oh, man.
All Cowboy fans, you walk in, you get a free shot. As soon as you walk in the door, you got Cowboys gear on. So, It's going to get a little rowdy in there. We have to keep the garage door shut tonight because of the weather.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be crammed inside of there. We're boiling up crawfish tonight, too, at the same time. So, yeah, should be a good time.
Very nice.
Were you shocked they beat the Chiefs on?
I was shocked. I did pick them, but I was shocked.
I told y'all.
Yeah, you did.
y'all.
You did. So with Detroit, I know a lot of the talking heads are calling Detroit's demise, due to Ben Johnson going to the Chicago Bears.
It's huge.
I think they're making me a believer. I'm almost there. I'm not there all the way yet. I still think, I just think when you move on from a coordinator to coordinator for the Detroit Lions, but then tonight's the night for the Cowboys. If the Cowboys can win tonight, I'm sold on the Cowboys being in playoffs.
So if they win tonight and they're 500, you're sold on them?
I'm sold on them.
They're 500 right now.
They're 500 right now. They're 5-5-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they go above 500 tonight.
And they have the tiebreaker on the Lions.
Okay.
And it's the first team out, right?
Listen, I'm a renowned Cowboy hater. I'm here. I'm in here.
And by the way,
I had no idea.
Listen, I'm in here. I'm in here playing nice. The whole fact that this mediocre team has been America's team for X amount of years.
Here we go.
Has been whatever. I'm just not a believer in them. And until they actually win something, like maybe a couple playoff games instead of one every 15 years or so, would be actually something to.
Yeah, but you have to separate years. This isn't the same team that we had 2 years ago. I mean,
is it
it's the
not?
same franchise.
Same owner, same quarterback. I mean,
you lost Parsons.
Yeah,
our defense is better now without Parsons. Honestly, we're getting Quinn Williams.
I kind of agree with that, but I mean, Lord have mercy, it's the Cowboys.
Yeah, but let's
see some proof in the pudding before we give them any trophies.
Well, and that's the thing. I think they're a playoff team if they can win tonight.
Tonight is it.
And Quinn Williams, what he's done has really helped because what they do is they can now stop the run.
Yeah.
What they couldn't do when they had Micah Parsons. And so this has been, if they turn out and make the playoff with losing the number one defensive player that they had, we're going to have to erase everything everybody said bad about Jerry Jones about this trade.
No. Not necessarily. Look at the division. What's going on in the division? I mean, we're talking about the Eagles crashing, right? The Giants are a dumpster fire. I mean, there's not much. You could go 500 and win that division.
There's a lot of bad divisions, though. We're not going to 500 and winning that division.
There's 3 bad divisions, maybe 4, maybe at the most.
They're all bad.
No.
But I mean, it's just I'm not ready to crown them.
Well, I'm just saying if they're able to pull off this win tonight after beating the Eagles and now beating the Lions, who I thought, I didn't realize Ben Johnson being out of there was this big of a deal. Looks like right now, huge difference, different team. If they beat them tonight, I think they're going to be in the driver's seat.
They'll have some momentum. They'll have some momentum.
And I believe that they will believe in themselves, and I think that's going to be a part of it too because we've seen this story before, they've dwindled.
They've had some of the most talented rosters over the last few years. It's just that hadn't had any results with it. So
it feels different though right now since the trade and getting Overshown back at linebacker and just certain other guys. It just feels different right now.
I'm going to take your word for it. You're the Cowboys fan, so I mean, if you're my insider on the Cowboys, and if you're feeling better about it, then they may be trying to turn the next page, but until they do,
the Lions don't have Amon-Ra tonight either.
Yeah, true.
At the same time, so their only strength is running the ball with Jahmyr.
So if y'all beat them with no Ben Johnson and no Amon-Ra, y'all gonna feel good about it?
Yes.
Okay. On the road. Okay. Yes, 100%. It's still the Lions.
Yes, you're still not supposed to win this game. I don't think. I don't think you're supposed to beat the Lions at home, even though the Lions have lost some games at home.
Last week,
St. Brown being out, that's big. That's big because he's a possession receiver,
and that's really our only weakness on defense right now is still kind of the secondary. For the most part.
If they hold, all right, I'm going to make a little prediction here, and we're going to go to the break. If they can hold Gibbs under 100 yards tonight, Cowboys win.
I think they hold him under 75.
And Montgomery's the other back?
Yeah, they usually use him.
He's the goal line back.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, that's a good 1-2 punch for what they do, but Gibbs is the guy.
Sonic and
Now, if he was to be able to do like some crazy number for all-purpose yards, meaning this amount plus catching the ball, okay, fine. But if they hold him under 100 yards on rushing tonight, I think the Cowboys are going to be pretty good with that, and that'll be a big deal for their defense because I'm still not sold on their offense.
If Gibbs gets 80 and then Montgomery gets 70, they're in trouble.
Yeah. If they give up, if they give up over 150 yards rushing, they'll be in trouble. But if they don't,
number one rush defense since we got Quinnen Williams.
True.
Number one in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a big deal.
Went from 30th to number one.
And then does everybody know where he came from? Alabama. We're going to have to take a break. Lone Star Ballhouse, go see them tonight. They're going to have a great time with you. We'll be right back. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get in the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The 8-4 Indianapolis Colts visit the 8-4 Jaguars this Sunday in Jacksonville with the AFC South lead on the line.
Touchdown!
Both teams are tied atop the division, making this Week 14 matchup one of the most crucial games of the week. Coverage starts at 11, kickoff at noon, right here on your home for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Thursday's weather. The remainder of the day, there will be a moderate breeze out of the east-northeast, very light showers and clouds at 55. A variety of very light rain and clouds tonight, about the same at 54. Tomorrow, overcast in the morning and then very light rain and a high of 69. Slightly colder at 63 Saturday and we'll have sprinkles. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job. It's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control. Our family protecting your family.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia and supplies, new and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory or visit online, instantReplaySportsCards.com.
The ACC Championship on ESPN Radio.
The magic continues.
10-2 and ranked 17th in the nation. Virginia faces 7-5 Duke. With a win, Virginia is heading to the playoff. If Duke wins, here comes the chaos.
3 at the 20. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
Number 17, Virginia, Duke.
Coverage starts Saturday at 6:30, kickoff at 7 on your home for college football on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. The sports world is a battlefield of opinions. And every day, Paul Wilson brings the heat, the fire, and the definitive take. Don't just follow the headlines. Be a part of the story on the Sports Blitz. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Thanks for holding and waiting. We appreciate you because we are back and we are ready to go. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We are live, local, and worldwide right here in the CBC Construction Studio. I believe we've got someone on the phone, and we are going to go straight to the phone line. We're going to talk about this Dallas Cowboy dynasty. Are you there, phone caller?
I sure am. I'm going to throw a little lack of wind in your sail about them Cowboys because when Landry moved Danny White from a punter and backup quarterback to the starting quarterback and passed up on Dan Marino in the draft.
Yeah.
All right. Pat Leahy went to the Jets They passed him up. Dan Marino was the second to last person taken in the first round of the draft. And Darryl Green, who set the record for probably everything you can do as a defensive back, he set the record. He was the last person taken in the first round. How dumb can you be as coaches? Now, getting back to college, I told my son the other day, I said, if they would let the colleges play 6 games and don't play any of your rivals until the 6th game, then from the rest of the season, from the 6th game out, play a tournament in your conference. The best 2 teams in your conference goes on to the national championship tournament, and the rest of them just play to get money.
Yeah, I mean, could happen. Could be something that they change, 10, 15 years from now. Obviously, keeping the 12 team, they believe that this is the right way to go right now until it's not. And then, I think getting to 16 is probably going to be the way you get it, because the deal is that you want to keep everybody excited. And the way it's set up right now is that everybody knows that if you get to 2 or 3 game losses and you're not, in the top 20 or top 10 around that time, whenever they start selecting, your season's pretty much done. And now what are you going to do is, if these guys start coming out with these different style of contracts, that's where you're going to get really bad. If they come out and say, hey, I want to play, I want to be able to have, if I'm signing $1 million contract, if I do 5 games, I get half of that. If I do 8 games, I get that. And if I get 10 games, I do that. If they start dictating that, then we're going to be in really bad trouble.
Well, I seen on Facebook yesterday where they had a nice-looking young man, and over the top of him it said he was a 5-star quarterback, and the bidding was going to open up at $6 million.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all have a great day. Always a pleasure to listen to this program.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, and that's the deal. I mean, when you look at how it's all set up, it's going to go based off of what the NIL does. And until they get a commissioner to handle all of this, until they get somebody that's going to be the one guy that handles what's going on, I don't think the committee deal is going to work. I mean, no business is ran by a committee, and it works. You have to have somebody in charge. Somebody, the buck's got to stop with them. And I believe you can't do a committee. I mean, and I don't know. I'm trying to see if my wife's watching.
No, you're good.
My wife's watching. She's watching. I was going to say, even the home don't work that way. You got somebody in charge, and you got somebody else that takes the orders. But anyway, I'm just kidding. But go ahead.
I think the committee thing would be better if the parameters to get in were as clear as day. Is us sitting here, we could look at the committees, 1, 2, 3, their points on how they judge these teams getting in. I think that would be the transparency of the whole selection. I think would be a whole lot better if we just knew.
Yeah.
If we weren't up in the air, well, are they valuing head-to-head? Are they valuing strength of schedule? What are they valuing? So I think if those were made more clear to the public, I think it would be a lot more transparency, a lot more understanding with that. But ultimately, I think it's going to go to this 16. I heard some rumors about, kind of like the NCAA, where there's maybe a couple play-in games in the beginning to get into the tournament. Like if you had Miami, Notre Dame, or BYU, and have them play to get into the tournament, 1 game before the actual tournament starts. I think ideas like that would be a lot better than, like a play-in tournament at the end of the year, or, leaving it at 12 or something like that, because like the gentleman on there, for example, if you had a play-in tournament and the top 2 from each conference, man, the top 8 teams in the SEC, top 6 teams in the SEC would beat the top 2 in the ACC at this current time. Yeah. My opinion. So that just doesn't work out. I think the only way to work out is to expand it with the way things are going.
You used the word earlier, mediocre, and I think that's too much vague of a word. Like, people don't understand, or people have different meanings for mediocre when you're talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Now, in college, there's certain teams that are average, and that ACC is completely average right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're all kind of eating each other. But really, I mean, they're barely above average, some of these teams. And it changes from week to week.
No.
You don't know what SMU or Duke or Virginia is going to even show up. And then look how Georgia Tech fell apart on us. We didn't want to see that, but we saw it happen.
And you go ahead and look at it, and how I look at it, and this is just the way I do, what teams could go to another conference and what would their records be then? And now I know that's all speculation, but still, could Vanderbilt go over and win the ACC? Absolutely. Could Texas go over and be in the ACC championship? Absolutely. Oklahoma would win the ACC. Could they go and compete and be one of the top 4 teams in the Big Ten? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt could be a top 4 team in the Big Ten. So could Texas. So could Oklahoma. So could A&M. So could Alabama. So could Ole Miss. All of those teams. So why wouldn't they be in the tournament or in the playoff? Because usually the Big Ten puts 4 teams in. Typically. And so what I'm saying is that we've got to get back to what the real reason behind putting 12 teams in a playoff is for, and that is to find the best teams in the country.
Agreed.
And if you don't put the best teams in the country, you're going to have what you're going to have this year, which is going to be a lot of curb stomping going on in the first round, and you're going to see it with North Texas, JMU, Tulane.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, would you have said the ACC was going to be a stronger conference this year or the Big 12?
When you said that earlier, I was thinking the exact same thing. Because I was thinking that you have more mid-tier teams in ACC where, I mean, I don't know how good Utah is really, but you have 3 teams on top. The rest of it's pretty much trash.
Yeah. And
Arizona State, I'm not convinced with them any longer. Baylor's trash. TCU, nah, not really,
Yeah, well, see, when I started at the beginning of the season, the ACC for me was Georgia Tech and Miami. Those are around 2 picks. And I thought they could play with anybody in the country this year. Now, I'm wrong about Georgia Tech. Miami's still to be determined. I don't know. Could they play on their best night with anybody in the country? I think so, probably. But they're probably not going to make the tournament unless something happens. But I never would have thought we would be sitting here talking about North Texas. And the thing about this crazy for all of those teams that we're talking about, Tulane, North Texas, and JMU, is the fact that they lost their coaches. That should have a play into all of it. I don't care what Summerall's doing. It's not the same, dog. It's not the same. It's not the same if I know I'm going. I mean, just a week ago or 3 days ago or 2 days ago, 8 days ago, whatever the days ago it was, John Summerall was standing there in blue and orange saying, I'm your guy. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm going out recruiting. We're getting on the phone with all of them. Oh, pause for a second. Let me go back over here and get Tulane ready to go for the playoff. What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're not 100% at that point. You're in 2 different places at once. I do think, that's what they're going to do to Ole Miss, too. They're going to look at them with, not their head coach, not their offensive coordinator, and any other staff that's involved. I don't think that they're going to miss the playoffs, but I think that their seeding was going to be affected by those decisions. And I think that should, JMU, North Texas, I think that should play a huge role in it. Those coaches helped those teams get there. Those coaches built those programs. I think that's the only reason that those programs are where they're at. Yeah. For them to lose the people that brought them to that point, I think that's a huge point to take, to take a look at.
Yeah, I believe that. Well, we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into the rivalry week and who is getting into the playoff. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 17 Studio Line. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Getting the right coach does not guarantee Super Bowls. Most reasonable people understand that. But it does guarantee an identity. The Patriots have one, the Bears have one, the Jags have one. It guarantees you'll get the most out of your roster.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Weekdays at 1.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your NFL and college football headquarters is Dak Cajun Place. With 27 TVs, you won't miss a play or a game. Score 50-cent wings during live games every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. 50-cent wings and $5 pitchers during live games only at Dak Cajun Place. LSU and Saints fans, wear your team colors and get free Jell-O shots when LSU or the Saints score. Plus brunch on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2 with $3 mimosas. Game like a local at Dak Cajun Place.
In times of war, peace, and every day in between, our military stays vigilant to protect our country. At Hope for the Warriors, we never forget them or the families who serve alongside them. Since 2006, Hope for the Warriors has provided life-transforming programs for active duty and veterans, military families and caregivers, families of the fallen. Go to hopeforthewarriors.org today.
ACC Championship on ESPN Radio.
The magic continues.
10-2 and ranked 17th in the nation. Virginia faces 7-5 Duke. With a win, Virginia is heading to the playoff. If Duke wins, here comes the chaos.
20 in for 20. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
Number 17, Virginia, Duke.
Coverage starts Saturday at 6:30, kickoff at 7 on your home for college football on the Gulf Coast.
104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
If you build it, they will come. We're live from the CBC Construction Studios. Can you take the hits? Here comes the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget this weekend, the SEC Championship, Georgia's versus Alabama. 2 o'clock, kickoff is at 2:30. The nightcap, the ACC Championship, the big one. Kickoff's at 7 o'clock. And don't forget tonight, we got the Cowboys and the Lions right after the show. Going to be huge. Now, you talked about something that's very important that everybody's talking about, and that is that Vanderbilt, they've all but went out and said, hey, who wants to play this weekend? We'll play whoever you got. Clark Lee and those guys have just said, hey, put anybody on the field that wants to say they better than us, let's go. Obviously, that's not going to happen because it'd be too big of a deal to try to get together. We're now already to Thursday. They can make it on Sunday. It just wouldn't work. But they're just trying to put in that they're able to be in the playoff. And that's what we've turned to, you know. And I mean, if you were on the outskirts, you would be saying anything and everything that you could to try to get the committee to listen because
Sark did.
So did the committee listen? Or is the reason why Notre Dame moved down, is that because the committee's listening to the people?
I don't think it was just so much listening to the people as they were talking facts. They were talking facts, and they're making comparisons to Miami, and that was the biggest, strongest,
yeah, because they beat them head to head.
I know, and the same record.
Same record, beat them head to head.
It was apples to apples.
Regardless if it's the first of the year or not.
Yeah.
They beat Notre Dame. And it was at home. Yeah, fine. But nobody's talking about Miami being a tough place to play anyway. But if you're a Notre Dame team, what are you saying at this point? Oh, well, the committee's got it right. They're going to always let Notre Dame in.
Yeah, and they say this stupid stuff like, we only lost by 1 and 3 points or whatever, against Texas A&M and Miami. Well, Texas A&M just took a loss finally.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's less of a big deal because if it was a 12-0 Texas A&M right now,
I think this. Let me ask you all this, how you think about this. I think if you're not going to be in a conference like Notre Dame isn't, I think then you should be, because you're not playing by the same rules that everybody else is playing by.
No.
If you're not playing by the same rules, then we're going to have a rules category for you. If you lose 2 games, you're automatically out. So if you don't want to be in a conference, that's fine. You don't have to be. But if you lose 2 games, the rule for you and UConn and all these other teams that want to stay out of a conference, you got to go, my friend. You're not here for the party.
Talking about playing teams and being penalized for it. So, I mean, we're obviously talking about and comparing Miami and Notre Dame and potentially getting in the playoffs. Their strength of records. Notre Dame's 13th. Miami's is 14th. Very, very similar. The strength of schedule. Notre Dame 42. Miami 44.
Wow.
Wins and losses versus top 25s. Notre Dame 1-2. Miami 1-0. and Miami has a head-to-head over Notre Dame in the beginning of the year. And my point is, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this, why do we even play on the football field if that head-to-head isn't valued?
Right.
Why do we even play football games?
Yeah.
Do we play football games on paper?
Nope.
I mean, do we? So my point is if that head-to-head isn't valued, this whole system is flawed, to be quite honest with you, because there's no point in playing football games on the football field if you're looking at it and Miami beats Notre Dame and Notre Dame gets in over Miami with the exact same criteria.
And Miami and Notre Dame have played the same people, and Miami has beaten them by a larger margin than Notre Dame has. So there's apples to apples there as well. So there's all kinds of that. But I also agree with Otis, who just said, I think Vandy should be in. So do I. Tougher schedule, playing in the best conference in the country, took Alabama, all they could do to beat them. You got Alabama at that point. You were valuing Alabama in the top 5, top 6 at the time that they played Vanderbilt. So if that's the case, then Vanderbilt's not 4 to 5 places away from Alabama. It's just like the deal. If you are losing by just a little bit, now I'm not talking about how Florida lost to LSU, where y'all could have punched it in right there at the end, but you took a knee. I'm talking about being close, and it took everything Alabama had to sustain what Diego Pavia and those guys brought to them in Tuscaloosa. And that's the deal. So I think, and then, and I'm not trying to jump on this bandwagon yet because we'll just discuss the rivalries at the beginning of the hour. But the way Vanderbilt beat Big Brother, they beat Tennessee. They didn't just beat them; they beat them. There was a bullying. They overwhelmingly beat them.
What I'm amazed about is Vanderbilt didn't move. They went into Knoxville, beat us by 21 points.
Right.
And they did not move.
They didn't go anywhere.
And here's my thing. Texas had a great win, probably one of the better wins in the country late in the year. Swap that around. Have them beat A&M where they lost to Florida and let them lose to Florida last game of the year. Did they jump 3 spots? No, same record, same team, same everything. It's recency bias.
Yeah.
So,
right.
in all honesty, we should be sitting here talking about difference between Miami, Vanderbilt, and Notre Dame getting in right there instead of Texas, because you got Vanderbilt behind Texas. I think that's extremely unfair, just because of the recency bias.
Yeah, just based off the A&M
If it was
win.
in any other order, it'd be different.
Dakota Crane says Vandy deserves to be in, Heisman finalist and beating solid teams, and this is coming from a Gator fan. I agree.
But the reality is, I'm going to give you my 3 teams I think are going to be out. It's not the teams that I want to be out.
Right.
Because I want, obviously, 1, maybe 2 of them in. The first team out, as far as I see right now, this is a prediction. Vanderbilt's the first team out. Miami's the second team out. And Texas is the third team out.
And there's no possible way that you can tell me that those 3 teams are less than JMU, Tulane, or North Texas.
Yeah, they'll beat them. And they would by double digits.
Yes.
Yeah, those spreads would be
at their house.
Their spreads would be 20-plus points.
Yeah.
And they would bring in more fans to that place than they have all year. I'm just telling you.
No, we were talking about that qualifier game and everything before the playoffs and all that. Hey, Notre Dame doesn't join a conference. Have them play the JMU, James Madison, or the North Texas team, and then we'll see who's who.
Yeah, but gosh, they would probably beat them too. But then the next thing you know, and when you look at all of the things like you're talking about, I think with the playoff committee, if they just had a formula that we all could follow.
Exactly.
It's like working for that company that they tell you that, say like if you're working for commission and they say, well, if you sell this, it's worth 2.5%. If you sell this, it's worth 1.6%. If you worth this, it's worth 1.7%. Nobody can really do the math on that. So we really don't know. We just trust what you say is the truth. And then now we're seeing that with the committee, because it's like, oh, well, the eye test. Okay, well, that's the eye test for sure. I'm not a brilliant football mind, but I know a little bit about it. And then, head to head. Strength of schedule. This, that, and the other. But there's no formula.
No transparency.
Give us the formula that you're going by, and then let us know. And I thought that it was I was surprised. I know Reese Davis was not he knew he wasn't going to get the answers that he was asking.
Oh, yeah.
He asked the questions, but the questions that he asked were so real and so true, but they won't answer them because the question that just baffled me is that the teams that aren't playing this weekend, are they set in stone where they're going to be now due to them not having any more eye tests, no more games? They've already beat who they were going to beat. They are going to lose who they were going to lose to. Now you've got these guys. Because if you're telling me that making it to the conference championship, you can't be affected by it, then that tells me Alabama should already be in,
Yep.
Georgia should already be in,
Yeah.
Indiana should already be in, Ohio State should already be in. Virginia and Duke would be the only others that I would say doesn't work.
No.
That part doesn't work because it doesn't fit the top 20 or the top 12 or however they got it set up. And then the other championship, then that should be whatever they say what is BYU and Texas Tech.
What's BYU's rank right now in the college football playoff rankings?
I think they're 18, right?
No.
And the playoff rankings, 11.
11, they're in. Paul,
BYU.
what happened here?
BYU's at 11?
Yes.
How'd they get to 11?
They just been hanging out with one loss.
I want to know if crumble cookies being served at the playoff committee or not.
What's in them cookies?
Yeah, BYU's been at 11 for the last 3 weeks.
So this puts a whole hole in your whole theory that
I don't think they beat Texas Tech.
The college, the conference championship shouldn't make any.
No, I'm not saying that I'm saying that. I think you misunderstood. I'm saying they are saying that it's not going to hurt you
They
if
are
you
saying
lose.
the committee.
Yeah,
the committee's saying it's going to hurt
when
you.
really it does because Utah is going to drop out or BYU. I'm sorry, BYU.
If Texas Tech beats BYU,
BYU's
then they
out.
should be out. But if Alabama loses to Georgia, whom they've already beat this year,
y'all would have to, in my
Why
opinion.
can't you split?
I'm a Tennessee fan.
How
Y'all would
bad?
have to be beat by 3 touchdowns for y'all to be out.
See, I said 15 or more.
Yeah.
15 points or
I'm
more.
thinking 3 touchdowns.
So then it does really matter what you put on it.
It kind of does, but I don't see y'all losing to Georgia by 3 touchdowns.
But let me ask you this. What would it help Georgia, realistically, if it doesn't matter?
Because they only have one loss. Yeah, but they're in regardless.
But if it doesn't matter.
It does matter. I don't know.
Well,
I think
you don't want to lose to Bama.
No, you don't. And I think they want the first round bye. I think as much as, Ohio State won it last year by playing continuous games. That's one year of sample size. I think ultimately for health reasons, I believe these teams, just like in NFL, just like in any sports, you get to the end of the year, you got a lot of people banged up. I believe that first round bye can be very important depending on who you are, depending on who's hurt and whatnot.
So here's 2 things about Bama losing the conference championship, if they do. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Okay, they're 10-3, and then there's a 10-2 Vandy that's going to slip in. But who has the head-to-head? Bama.
But are they going to acknowledge the head-to-head? Because as of right now,
They don't. Yeah.
And then what happens if Virginia wins?
They would have to.
Virginia's going to be in because that automatic bid from the 5 conferences.
So if Virginia wins, they get in.
Oh yeah, Virginia wins, they're in. That's an automatic bid. That's
It is disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It doesn't even feel right.
But that NC State game wasn't a conference game.
See that right there
That's wrong.
really is wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And the way these conferences can and we only have about a minute before we have to go to break, but let me ask you this. How mad is it going to make the ACC brass if they don't have an ACC team in the college football playoff?
Oh, extremely. And Florida State and Clemson are going to be the ones that are screaming just as much as the teams that are missing it. Because, they feel like they're in a third-rate conference, and it might be a fourth-rate conference at this point. If you can't even squeeze a team in, come on, man.
Would you have ever thought we would be talking about possibly an ACC team not even getting one team in?
Absolutely not. I thought maybe you can get 2 in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we're going to go to our break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about all the rivalry games that we had over the weekend. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call or text in now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. The Paul Feinbaum Show.
In the state of South Carolina, some little boys and some little girls grew up to be Gamecocks fans. And this time, come Saturday, we'll be on Stump all day, wholesale, and they be crying, eating that leftover Gamecock turkey sandwich. 50% off all chickens. Let's go, Clemson Nation.
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Thursday's weather. The remainder of the day, there will be a moderate breeze out of the east-northeast, very light showers and clouds at 55. A variety of very light rain and clouds tonight, about the same at 54. Tomorrow, overcast in the morning and then very light rain and a high of 69. Slightly colder at 63 Saturday, and we'll have sprinkles. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
It's the end of the year and the perfect time to unwrap big savings on a brand new 2025 Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Ready for adventure? Well, drive into the holidays in an award-winning Kia SUV line like the Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or the bold Telluride. If you want luxury and performance, slide into the sleek 2025 Kia K4 or K5 sedan, always designed to thrill. And going electric this year, spark inspiration with the all-electric 2025 EV6 long-range, fast-charging, and electrifying style. At Bill Bird Kia, you'll get comfort, safety, and technology, all wrapped into one perfect package. And don't forget, we're the original home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street in Panama City or online anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer. Love your ride this holiday season. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty.
GSX Lynn Haven WPLQ Port St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The ACC Championship on ESPN Radio.
The magic continues.
10-2 and ranked 17th in the nation. Virginia faces 7-5 Duke. With a win, Virginia is heading to the playoff. If Duke wins, here comes the chaos.
20 for 20. He's into the end zone, touchdown.
Number 17, Virginia, Duke.
Coverage starts Saturday at 6:30, kickoff at 7 on your home for college football on the Gulf Coast.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz. 100% live and local from the CDC Construction Studios. Marquee matchups, huge rivalries, and fan favorites. The college football headquarters on the Gulf Coast is 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
It's 5 o'clock on a Thursday. You got one more day to the weekend, baby. And we are pumped up right here on the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you want to be a part of the show? You can be. All you got to do is call in 850-215-6290 on the Red 7Ts phone line. It's going to be awesome. We are your... Did I say your? I meant we are your spot for all things college football as of right now, because we have got to go over all of the rivalry weekend stuff. We talked about Texas and Texas A&M earlier, and now we've got to start off with Tennessee Brandon in the house. Jeffrey's here sporting the Tulane green. Bone Crusher's here. We're having a great time. Brandon, it's not very many times that we have to talk about this, but we are going to talk about it. Yeah. Now, number one, you're not so sad today because you do have a chance, I've heard from other people, about winning your fantasy football league.
Yeah.
So there's a chance.
Still alive.
So there's a chance that he could still win his fantasy football league. So this season is not necessarily lost, even though Vanderbilt put on a clinic against the Tennessee Volunteers in Knoxville.
You know how hard that is to watch?
In front of all those fans.
You know how hard that is to watch? Thanks, Bone Crusher. Appreciate that one. Yeah, I mean, tied at halftime. I mean, we knew Vanderbilt was going to be a tough out. I mean, we all knew. I mean, of course. They played everybody tough all year long.
Yeah.
Tied at halftime, I'm thinking, okay, I mean, we got a ball game here, you know, and being in Knoxville, I'm thinking, you know, eventually at some point, you know, crowd takes over, momentum takes over. No, not at all. I mean, we wet the bed on the second half. 3 points. They had 24. I mean, our defense is atrocious. I'm not the type of fan that, you know, when a coach does bad that you want to fire or a coordinator. Heupel's great, first of all, not even going there. But we just gave Tim Banks an extension at the beginning of the year. And he's our defensive coordinator, by the way. I know our defense was kind of in shambles this year, but the fact that we played and we schemed as bad as we did this year, and it's just, I don't know where to go with the defense. I mean, you can only bring in so many 18-year-olds. We're going to have to hit the portal pretty hard on the defensive side. Like I said, McCoy's going to be going to the NFL. We had all hoped, you know, our All-American would make it back.
Never did.
You know, never did. I think, you know, I don't think we can be as bad on the defense as we were this year, but you never know. I've heard some things about, you know, Mark Stoops, you know, coming after he lost his job at Kentucky, that he could be a potential running for a defensive coordinator at Tennessee.
Wow.
These are all speculations and rumors, but I was a firm believer, and still am a firm believer in Tim Banks. You know, he's proven it in the past. He's the same coordinator we had last year when we had one of the best defenses in the nation, so I'm not yet to give up on him. But it was rough watching Vanderbilt walk into Knoxville, walk into Neyland Stadium, and just absolutely beat the brakes off of us on the second half.
Well, I'll tell you this. You want to watch a game and call it bully? That's what it was. I mean, they bullied them. They ran the ball when they wanted to. Yep. They put them right where they wanted to. And, you know, and I heard this online. I mean, obviously, somebody needed to call the public school system and let them know there's bullying going on in Knoxville.
You know, it's funny you say that. And I want to put this on Front Street. No excuse. None at all. We put the pants on the same way, put our pads on the same way. We all play football. You know, Vanderbilt is the oldest team in the SEC.
Yes.
The oldest.
Grown men.
Absolutely oldest. Tennessee.
No, they're not Jeff's age. Now, don't look at Jeff.
No, yeah.
They're not Jeffrey's age.
Let me get my pads on.
Yeah, exactly. But no,
still got 2 years of eligibility left.
Tennessee statistically is the youngest team in the SEC.
All right.
So starters go?
I've got some numbers to kind of show you here. So Tennessee's graduates let's say we had 100 kids, you know, theoretically on the roster. You know, 2.7 of our roster was graduates. Do you know the percentage of Vanderbilt's team that was graduates? 22% of them.
Well, that's because wait a minute now. Hold on. Let's step off for
3 years.
I'll come back. Hold on.
Vanderbilt's just smarter.
Listen. So our senior class, our roster composed of 9% seniors. Vanderbilt's 17.8. We had 49.5% of our roster made up of freshmen this year. When you're talking about bullying, it was. We had a bunch of young kids out there playing a bunch of 23, 24-year-olds. I mean, it legitimately was. Now, when we say, little brother, we were the little brother that Saturday. We were much younger than them. And they just showed up and, like you said, abused us. Yeah. They beat us like we were the little brother. And I started to look into that. I mean, 26 graduate players. They had 50 upperclassmen on their roster. I mean, it's a bright spot for me to look at, knowing how young we are and how we did compete. We lost 3 games this year. We should have beat Georgia. We beat Georgia in the 3 opportunities. Yeah. We're in this running, the talking. We're in this playoff. I'm sitting here smiling a little more. It's very optimistic to look and see how young we are. And with our top 10 recruiting class coming up, you know, getting these studs in here. We got the number 7 recruiting class right now.
Y'all are taller and bigger.
Are we? I haven't seen those statistics.
The team I saw on the field, y'all are taller and bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and this is the other thing that you got to think about. With the new way the NIL has changed the game to college football, you have Heupel have better be able to hold on to some of those younger players when he's bringing these new ones in, because you can do really good with the bringing new kids in, as far as with recruiting.
Yeah.
But you better be able to work some of the portal. You better not allow your team to, get offered a little bit more money. And I'll tell you this, everybody, and Jeff, we've talked about this before. I know what Vanderbilt has been in the past. Mm-hmm. They just gave Clark Lee an extension. Mm-hmm. The rules are different now.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing people starting to go to Vandy and want to go to Vandy. I mean, 5 years ago, we'd have laughed in your face if you would have said, I want to go play football at the University of Vanderbilt. I'd have been like, okay, well, go ahead, But you've got somebody yesterday, Knox, he flipped from Georgia. He's a number 1 rated quarterback. Flipped from Georgia to go play at Vanderbilt. And so,
that's the Pavia effect right there.
I'm just telling you, and Pavia's going to go to New York. Whether you like that or not, he's going to New York.
Talking about the Jets?
No. New York for the Heisman.
Oh, okay.
He's going to the Heisman. No. Whoa.
The draft's not there anymore, so it's definitely Heisman.
Roll, but I agree. He's going to do New York for the Heisman race.
Yeah, he'll definitely go there. So but that and I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but it's not every year that Vanderbilt's this good. But are we going to see? So if you had money to bet, Jeffrey, I'll go with you first, and then Brandon, I'm going to get you to answer the same question.
Okay.
If you have money to bet right now. If you had $100, $100 to keep or $100 to bet, to say there's a possibility within the next 5 years, Vanderbilt is going to either make the playoff or play for the SEC championship within 5 years, would you put your $100 bill on that? Yes or no?
I keep my money. I'm not betting on Vandy.
Okay. All right. Brandon.
Yeah, I'm not betting on Vandy. I think this was their one bright spot. I mean, you look at these numbers, a lot of these guys are moving on. Unless they start forking out the money and paying players like a Tennessee, like an LSU, like an Alabama, they're not going to keep these because guess what? They're going to get poached by other teams with bigger pockets. So I don't think that these numbers are going to stay like that. I think, it's going to be hard to continue to be good at Vanderbilt. I don't see it. I'm keeping my $100.
You don't think so? You don't think in the next 5 years we're going to still be talking about them? Do you think there's a big drop-off come next year?
Not a big, but definitely a noticeable drop-off. They're not going to be playoff contention.
I think about, and every year is different. Every team is different. But the 4 teams that were out last year, Bama, Ole Miss, Miami, and South Carolina, were the first 4 teams out last year. Bama and Ole Miss are in. Miami's still on this bubble again. Yeah. It's sad to watch it. And South Carolina is gone. Nobody's talking about South Carolina, right? So I think Vanderbilt's not going to have a big drop off like a South Carolina, but I don't think they're going to be right there like Miami is this year.
Well, and you got to look at other things that's going to affect this year or next year's SEC. So you've got a new coach in Florida. Mm-hmm. You got Kiffin going to LSU. Ole Miss, are they going to go up or are they going to go down? Is Mississippi State going to go up or are they going to stay about the same? Is Auburn going to go up or are they going to stay down? Alabama, what are they going? Are they going to continue the path that they're going, where they're going to, maybe throw 1 game or 2 games a year? Georgia with Kirby, is he still there? Kentucky, is this guy going to be able to turn anything around? Or are they going to be in the bottom dwellers? South Carolina, what are they going to do? Missouri, what are they going to do? So you got all these teams that you've got all these new coaches. You got if you look across the landscape of the SEC right now, you've got all brand new coaches, half of them. And then the other half have all got extensions. So what you're going to see for the next 6 years is all of these guys battle it out. And, it just depends on who gets hot or who gets not. Now, we didn't get to ask you the question. Of all the new hires, who do you think? Kiffin, Summerall, Golish, or Satterfield, or what's the guy at Ole Miss now? Golden.
Pete Golden.
Out of those 5, who was the best hire, and then who's going to do better?
I would have to go between Golish and Summerall. I like Summerall's personality. I think that he can recruit well down there. So if we're going based off, if we're going overall result with wins and losses, I mean, we're talking about next year or the next couple of years.
next year?
Next year, immediately. Yeah, I'd say Summerall. I mean, I believe in Alex Golesh at Auburn. I believe in his coaching techniques, his offense. I believe they'll have a way better offense than they had last year. But I think Florida has the potential for the quickest turnaround of those programs.
Wow, everybody else in the Panhandle disagrees with both of y'all on that. Everybody thinks Kiffin is going to be the guy. I mean, everybody thinks Kiffin's going to have LSU right where they need to be moving forward, possibility to make the playoffs next year, possibility to win the SEC championship. So you guys are not in the Kiffin game at all. He said Golesh being number one. You're kind of saying Summerall being number one. So it's
the thing is
to see on that.
The thing is that Auburn's 5-7. To get better is not that hard for them.
Well, and
if I had $100 and I placed it on one team in the SEC to win more games next year, I'm putting it on Auburn. And after that, I mean, maybe like a South Carolina, and then LSU and Florida about even as far as like winning more games.
I mean, Florida won 3 games this year, so I mean, Summerall goes 6-6 and makes a bowl game next year. I mean, he's going to be a hero in Gainesville.
Well, they're 4-8. They finished 4-8. The Gators did.
Yeah, would they beat? Florida State?
I mean, they probably go 5-7 next year. LSU's lost 5 games. I could tell you 5 teams that could possibly beat LSU next year, and they're on our schedule. And one of them's not Clemson. It's Texas, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Tennessee. Mm-hmm. That's 5 losses. LSU could potentially be 7-5 in Kiffin's first year.
Yeah, I'm so interested to watch Kiffin walk into Oxford next year. So better be ready for the golf balls and the mustard from the Oxford fans. And he's going to walk back into to Tennessee, into Knoxville, wearing a Tigers uniform or whatever. So that's going to be 2 places that he has hated so much. And it's going to be an interesting couple games to watch next year.
So I have 2 things to drop on you. We sold 12,000 season tickets the first day that Kiffin was announced as the LSU head coach.
Wow.
12,000. And then I'm going to let you know on my little group chat with all my LSU buddies. Guess what game we're going to next year? We're going to the Ole Miss game.
Oh, God.
There you go.
And guess where we're going to buy tickets?
Through Ole Miss.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
we're going to infiltrate that stadium.
Oh, my gosh. You're talking about, can you tell me that, oh, my gosh, the LSU toxicity is starting to come back.
It is.
We lost it. We lost all the toxic fans from LSU this year because of how bad they were and Brian Kelly. But now we have finally found them again. Jeffrey has let the cat out of the bag. LSU Tiger and the toxic fans are coming to a stadium near you.
We will go right up in your section, not your student section, but we will go up in your stadium and sit on your side. We don't care.
Oh, man.
We'll yell our heads off.
You know what? Because of all that, we got to go to the Red 7T's phone line. We've got Ethan on the phone. Ethan, how you doing today, my friend?
I am doing great, guys. How are y'all?
Doing fantastic.
So, yeah, I had to come and defend my Gators.
Come on.
I'm not sure. One of y'all said that we'd go 6-6 and Summerall would be a hero in Gainesville.
Yeah, that's your
I'm
Tennessee
not sure,
fan over here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you ever met a Florida fan, but I'm pretty sure we're the only school in the SEC who's fired our coach the year after they went to the SEC championship game. I know Tennessee fans wouldn't know anything about that because it's been 2 decades since they were there.
Okay.
But,
fair game.
We fired Mullen for going 6-5 after 3 straight 10-win seasons because he wasn't getting over the hump. Summerall, he just hired Buster Faulkner. He just hired Brad White. He's doing what Billy Napier refused to do, which is actually go out and hire competent people to coach their sides of the ball.
You're talking about like Tennessee Volunteers offensive coordinator?
No, I'm talking about Buster Faulkner, the offensive coordinator for Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
He's coming to Florida.
They're trying to get Hazel, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need Hazel. He can stay up there with that gimmick offense that Heupel runs, and y'all can go 8-4 forever. I mean, you got your one win in the swamp finally. All good things must come to an end.
So the last 3 out of 4 years doesn't matter?
No, because we fired our coach. Your coach likes Billy Napier.
Right.
We got a blank slate now,
Ethan, let me ask you this question. So, obviously, Brad White coming over. Do you have confidence in that hire? I heard your voice. I've watched him. I was up in Kentucky at the time when he was there. With Stoops. I love Stoops as a defensive coach and a coordinator, by the way. So you're okay with Brad White?
I love Brad White. I don't think he's at that level of maybe the DJ Durkins and maybe Blake Baker and Jim Knowles, right? Like those are probably the best 3 defensive coordinators, but he's still in the top 10 in my mind. I mean, what he's done at Kentucky for the past 7 years, being at a talent disadvantage in basically every game you play. I think he's had basically a top 45 defense every year and a top 25 defense like 4 times in 7 years or something like that.
Yep.
And I mean, as a Florida fan, right, I mean, I went my whole life never seeing us lose to Kentucky. And then all of a sudden 2018 comes around and Kentucky's a whole different beast at that point.
Yep.
And, you know, I talk to a lot of Tennessee fans, Georgia fans. Everybody hates playing Kentucky, not because of their offense, but because of their defense. And I think I'm not a big fan of the scheme, kind of the sit back and play cover 3 and just get coverage sacks. You know, I like more blitzing, a little bit more aggression, but he obviously knows how to coach defense, scheme it up, and shut down high-powered offenses because he's done it. He did it to Lane Kiffin last year, right, when Kentucky beat and held Lane Kiffin to 12 points. So he definitely has enough body of work for me to feel excited.
Yeah, and that's the key. That's what I was wanting to see. I was wanting to see the excitement because I've looked online, I've seen some of the people talking about, and it's been kind of 50-50. Some people are a little disappointed and a little, you know, some people are excited, but I wanted to hear because it sounds like you got your, you got your finger on the pulse of the team. And I believe that, you know, when you have someone like that, you bring them in because of the familiarity. I think that's the biggest key when you come in, especially coming in outside of the SEC. You better surround yourself with SEC proven coordinators. I agree with you.
Yep, and that's something Napier failed to do. And, you know, I mean, we see where that got us, especially really on both sides of the ball. But, yeah, I mean, I think that one problem with our fan base is that Florida fans really like familiar names. Every year we hear Jeff Collins and Charlie Strong and all these people tossed around, and it's like these guys haven't been relevant in 10-plus years. Let's go and get an exciting person, you know. And Brad White, you know, no offense to the guy, he looks older than he actually is, though, right? Like he's actually a fairly young guy. I think he's in his early 40s. And so, you know, I mean, I think that enthusiasm, that excitement, I think is really going to help us turn a corner. And our team, one of the reasons we were ranked so high going into the season, we got talent all across this team. They were just clearly poorly coached. And I think that, you know, like you said, I think we can have a quick turnaround. I don't know about 6-6 being good enough. I think we could be in that, you know, 9-3 type range, especially with how easy our schedule gets after this year.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the call, Ethan. I think you're right about a lot of things. I know Brandon doesn't, but that'll be up for debate.
Is Lagway your quarterback next year?
As long as he doesn't transfer, yes. I don't think he's going to transfer. He said all the right things that, you know, he's a Gator and it's home. I think bringing in Buster Faulkner, we're going to be in an offense that's going to be, you know, throw first. If you do a little digging on Buster Faulkner, don't let the Haynes-King offense distract you. Go back and look at his time at some of his other stops, especially when he was the QB coach at Georgia.
Yeah.
And look at what he learned under Todd Monken. I mean, he's an air raid guy who likes to throw the ball around. They've kind of had to adapt because Haynes-King is not particularly good at throwing the ball. And so I think that recency bias, to your point earlier, I think that don't let that skew you if you do a little dig on Buster Faulkner. I think DJ's the perfect quarterback.
That's a good way to put it. That's true. That's true because you do realize who he had as his quarterbacks at Georgia. So that's a good point.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. With all this talk that we had even earlier in this show and other shows, we're talking about playing outside of your conference, like Texas not wanting to play Ohio State because it's going to hurt them from getting in the playoffs. Would it hurt your feelings that the Gators stopped playing the Hurricanes?
Well, I'm young enough that wasn't a regular game for me.
Yeah.
You know, we would play them every, maybe twice a decade or so, which is kind of where we are now. Personally, I'm more of the mentality of I've seen the Florida Gators be elite, right? And we don't care who we're lined up against when we're at our top. And so that's my mentality is line up, let's play ball. I don't care if it's Miami, Bama, Ohio State, whatever. When we're at our best, we can beat anybody. And if we are scared, we should be the teams worried about being on somebody's schedule, not the other way around. So I say bring Miami on, bring FSU on. I don't care. That's my mentality because I feel like Florida is one of the few programs in the country that when they're at their peak, nobody else is as good. And so, I think that the schedule getting easier is definitely going to make life better and easier for Summerall, as opposed to Napier having to deal with Utah and Miami and these kind of big matchups. But I think that bring them on. That's my mentality. It's always been that way for me.
Well, Ethan, we value that. We value your opinion, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We appreciate the call, my friend. We're bumped up against the break. And when we come back, we are going to talk. We got to talk about Bama. We haven't talked about them. You listen to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call in now.
This is Touchstone service.
The Red 70 studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The 8-4 Indianapolis Colts visit the 8-4 Jaguars this Sunday in Jacksonville with the AFC South lead on the line.
Touchdown!
Both teams are tied atop the division, making this Week 14 matchup one of the most crucial games of the week. Coverage starts at 11, kickoff at noon, right here on your home for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Thursday. A variety of very light showers and clouds tonight with a gentle breeze out of the southeast at 11 miles per hour. Look for the low to be 56. Tomorrow morning, there will be very light rain with the temperature reaching 66. Lightly sprinkling in the afternoon and evening with a high of 64. This weather is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
At Brock Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests from ever entering your home. It includes inspection, prevention, education, and, when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
Hello, Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Hello, Tracy. It's Santa. I'm so busy this year, I really could use your help.
Absolutely, Santa. I'm happy to help.
This year, I want to make sure everyone gets what they ask for, and I know Tracy's Fine Jewelry has the largest selection at the lowest prices.
We sure do, Santa. We have some of the hottest trending styles around, and our cases are packed full of great deals.
Ho, 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 Tracy, I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Folks, shop where Santa shops at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
The ACC Championship on ESPN Radio.
The magic continues.
10-2 and ranked 17th in the nation. Virginia faces 7-5 Duke. With a win, Virginia is heading to the playoff. If Duke wins, here comes the chaos.
3 for 20. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
Number 17, Virginia, Duke.
Coverage starts Saturday at 6:30, kickoff at 7 on your home for college football on the Gulf Coast.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. Your put-downs, smackdowns, and shutdowns.
That's the difference between a winning football team and a losing football team.
It's a Trash Talk Thursday on the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, the SEC Championship is this weekend. Georgia at Alabama, 2 o'clock. Kickoffs at 2:30. And then the big, bad ACC Championship kickoffs at 7 o'clock on right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Tonight, don't forget as well, we got Dallas and the Lions right after the show. That's going to be hot and heavy. If the Cowboys can pull that off, that's going to make the Cowboy fans really happy. But let's talk about the rivalry week. Alabama and Auburn. I have to go first. And I'm just going to say it. I have zero confidence in Alabama doing anything in the playoffs. And the reason why? One name, Ryan Grubb. I do not have any confidence in him play calling. Yeah, I get it. He's from the Seahawks. Yeah, I get it. He took Michael Penix Jr. to the national championship with the Washington Huskies. Oh, yeah. But let me tell you something. When we could throw the ball deep, we throw it short. When we could throw the ball short, we throw it deep. I don't understand it. It's just baffling to me how bad of a game plan it seemed like we had going into this game. Everybody blames Ty Simpson. I get it, but I just don't understand what plays are we calling. You can look at the stats, you can do this, you can do that, but look at the game. Watch the game. Auburn should not have been as close as they were to Alabama, and it made Alabama look inept. And they're not supposed to look inept in offense. We're supposed to be an offensive, air raid, awesome, Kalen DeBoer, West Coast offense. We're supposed to be all of this, and we're not. Now, what's baffling to me is you got Ryan Williams, who's supposed to be one of the best wide receivers in the country. How many passes did he catch? Let me answer that for you. 0. He didn't even get a pass thrown to him. And then every time I looked over on the sideline, guess who was on the sideline? Ryan Williams. Is Ryan Williams hurt? Oh, no. No, he's not hurt. We just didn't put him in the game. Okay. Well, why? Something's going on. So I have no confidence in this Alabama football team. As much as I want them in the playoffs, as much as I want to say, hey, let's go Alabama, let's win Alabama, let's do this Alabama, I can't because I've seen what the product is on the field. Did they beat Auburn? Yeah. Should they have beat Auburn? I don't know. But to have to require a fumble to stop Auburn from beating Alabama is just so disheartening. And I don't know what I was watching. I just couldn't believe it. Now, am I an offensive coordinator? Absolutely not. Am I a defensive coordinator? No, I'm not. But it just seemed like the play calling was terrible, and I don't understand it. So somebody, please, walk me off of this ledge before I jump.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm standing in my living room, like, baffled at how close this game was. And I'm like, does Auburn has a chance to do this? And all of a sudden, and like you said, it took a fumble at the end of the game to, secure that game for you guys. I was, needless to say, I was kind of shocked about the results. Just the whole game overall. I mean, Ty Simpson, it was 19 for 35, which, like you said, a lot of people want to blame Ty. Right? Yeah. But with you saying something about the play calling, like, throwing it deep, throw it short, vice versa, I mean, that could have played a lot into it. It looks like, they had him try to do a lot, but 19 for 35 isn't great. Sounds like we were trying to force the ball a lot of places. Golly, man, you're totally right. I mean, when they rushed for 152 yards on you guys, now y'all rushed for 158. That's a lot better than you have prior in the season. I remember us sitting here at this table talking the beginning of the season, talking about, your quarterback can't be your leading rusher.
That's right.
And, he wasn't. He was played a big part in that, but it wasn't looking very promising in that game. You're not getting hot at the right time. As of you, I'm probably in the same boat as you are.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about it is Alabama jumped on them pretty good. It was 17-0. Yeah. 17. And what happened? Exactly what I was telling my wife when we were watching it. I said, Alabama has to score now. They have to put them away. If they could put them away and get them out of, and then they let them score, they let them kick a field goal. Mm-hmm. And then they kicked another field goal. But what was going on is the old Jalen Hurts way. It's not the defense's fault when the offense goes 3 and out several times in a row. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. With Alabama being this big offensive juggernaut with all these, all these coaches. And you know what? I let them talk. I let everybody say what they want to say about Ryan Grubb all through the year. And everybody's talking about, Ryan, I'm surprised Ryan Grubb isn't being offered head coaching jobs. Well, you know what? I wished somebody would have offered him a head coaching job, but they didn't. And so I just will be honest with you. As much as I think Alabama deserves to be in the playoff, and I still do, I think they deserve to be in the playoff. I think they beat a good Georgia team. I think they beat a good Vanderbilt team. I think they shouldn't have lost to Oklahoma. I still think beating Tennessee was a good win. All of those things. But the way they played against Auburn, and you could say Auburn played with their hair on fire because they played everybody close this year.
They really have.
Everybody that Auburn has lost to was close. I mean, they played really good football. Auburn's got a lot of talent, don't get me wrong. And that's why Golish, that's probably why the hire is going to be so good, because he's going to have talent. And he had talent at USF, and now he's going to have talent at Auburn. So it is a scary thing to see what Auburn's going to be. But I'm just saying, if they don't change this whole play calling debacle that they've got going on with Alabama, I just don't see them moving forward. The one thing that bothers me the most about Alabama, and it's maybe Ty Simpson's fault, but I'm not sure, is the fact that whenever they you notice that they are like 2 seconds just about every time before they snap the ball. It's almost like they're trying to get in the perfect play every single play. Now, most of the time, they're going to send your quarterback 2 plays, and they're going to let you audible out of one into the other one. But it seems like every time he's changing it right before they're playing. And it's like 2 seconds, 1 second, snap the ball. And it's like, is Ty Simpson changing the play that Grubb called, or is Grubb telling him with the signals from the sideline, because you do see him look over there, is he the one changing it? And so at this point, I don't know. And I just noticed a lot of that going on at this game specifically. It was like waiting until the last second to try to get in that perfect play. And you don't have to have the perfect play. Just execute your play, and if they stop it, so what? But they won't stop it every time. That's how I feel about that.
To your point,
I don't like you being mute over there.
Yeah,
you aggravate me.
I have a lot to say, but I'm waiting for you to finish yelling.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Auburn has played everybody, everybody close. I mean, all except for one game this year. They lost to Georgia by 10 points.
Yeah.
I think that was the most they had lost to somebody as far as points-wise. I mean, they have played everybody close.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're good.
so they're not – they look like a bad team. I don't think they are as bad as their record says. Now, Jeff, would you like a turn?
Yeah, because I'm going to make Paul mad.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Already am there.
I see the blood pressure rising.
Alabama went on vacation for the whole month of November. And let me tell you when it happened. Yeah. They had a bye before LSU. They didn't really need a bye before LSU because LSU was LSU. They weren't as good as Bama. It was obvious, especially in the first half. And then I feel like they did this. They took their foot off the pedal. I told you this before. In that second half, they could have buried LSU alive. It would have been 25 or more point win if they just kept their foot on the pedal. Nick Saban would have done that. Give me some fire. Bury my team alive, because that's what you could have done.
Yeah.
But instead, they took their foot off the pedal. The next week, they looked like they still had their foot off the pedal a little bit. They only lost to Oklahoma by 2 points. But you still lost at home to Oklahoma, a team that you should have wanted revenge on.
Yeah.
Nick Saban would have been irate. He would have broke clipboards, thrown his headset down 5 times. I mean, it would have been insane. And then the next week, you know what happened? Ty Simpson comes out, throws 2 interceptions, doesn't throw any touchdowns. And what did they do? They said, well, it's Eastern Illinois. Let's just run it. Everybody and their mama was running the ball that game. All they did was run. And Eastern Illinois, I mean, come on. They're trash. And you just ran all over them, but you didn't pass all over them. You didn't test yourselves.
Nope.
So you took the LSU game off. You tripped up on Oklahoma. You took the Eastern Illinois game off. And then you couldn't put Auburn away. Tell me, I've lost confidence in this team. I think he needs more Nick Saban in him. DeBoer needs more Nick Saban in him.
I agree with you.
And they're not going to beat Georgia. I'm sorry, but that's how the way I see it. And then what's your seed? Are you going to fall from, are y'all 10?
9.
You're 9. So you don't even have a home playoff game right now.
Which if we play like we did against Oklahoma, it won't matter.
Yeah. So do you fall to 10? You fall one spot because you lost to Georgia, who might be number 2 when this is all over with and going into the playoffs. And then you're playing a 7. God knows who the 7 could be. Could be Ole Miss. That'd be your best bet. Because who do you like you matching up against in a 7 spot?
Not Ole Miss. Absolutely not Ole Miss. But you said something very, very interesting. And you talked about putting your foot on the gas. Do you know who puts their foot on the gas?
Jimmy Johnson?
No. People that have cars. And if you're looking for a car, you can go to AutoNation Ford in Panama City. They have the vehicles for you. 730 West 15th Street. They will get you in the right vehicle. They've got all kinds of deals going on right now. Black Friday specials still going on. And you can get in a truck, in an SUV. I mean, the vehicles are a plethora there. And not only that, but they also can get you online and find you any car, any make, any model, any brand that you want. So go see those guys over at AutoNation Ford, Panama City. Now, locally, if you've got a vehicle that needs some repair work as far as cosmetically, do I have the place for you? Oh, there he is right there. Brandon.
Hey, how's it going, man? So me and my father, Randy Strickland, we own Recommended Collision off of Jinx Avenue in Panama City, Florida. Local family business, take pride in customer service and quality of work. If you come by, we give free estimates. If you just got a question about your vehicle, small dent or scratch, whether somebody rear-ended you and you're going through insurance, come in and talk to us. See if we can help you out, whether we can get you on the schedule and get your car repaired before the holiday, that way you're back in it, or whether your window won't roll back up and it's super cold outside and we got to put a new motor, window, and regulator in there or something of that sort. Come by and ask any questions. We're at 1329 Jinx Avenue, Panama City, Florida, 850-763-2471.
You know who didn't take your advice? Bo and Luke do. They always climbed in their vehicle.
They always climbed.
Because their door handle was broke.
Yeah.
Because you can fix door handles.
We can fix door handles inside, outside. It doesn't matter. We can fix it.
Jeffrey, what you got over there?
Oh, shoot. Hard Rock Bets. You ready for basketball season?
Yeah.
Because you can bet on players.
What?
You can bet on teams.
What?
Yeah, you can bet on all this kind of stuff. But let me tell you, you're not sure who you want to place your first bet on? Don't bet it on Kentucky.
Oh my God.
Oh, my goodness.
I think he's going off the cuff here.
I am. But anyway, Hard Rock Bets is the way to go. It's the only way to bet in Florida. And it's run by the Seminole Tribe. And, wow, let's see. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe. You must be 21 or older and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. Are you a betting man?
No.
Oh, come on. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, I'll string a couple parlays together every now and then.
I've been known to do a little betting. And you know what? The playoffs is coming.
They are.
And we're going to have to doing some betting.
Yeah.
Playoffs? You're talking about playoffs.
We are for Bama.
All right, here
but
we
not
go.
for Tennessee.
Oh.
Don't worry, LSU's sitting at home anyway.
I know.
And with that being said, we're going to take our next break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about this college football season. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Your home for college football. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This Saturday, live from Atlanta, it's the SEC Championship with the Georgia Bulldogs.
75 yards.
And the Alabama Crimson Tide.
And Alabama survive.
Coverage starts at 2, kickoff at 2:30 on your spot for the SEC Championship on the Gulf Coast, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Hey, Dad, you've got a powerful role even if you're not the one doing the feeding. Breast milk gives your baby top-tier nutrition, immune protection, and antibodies that formula just can't. And the best part, breast milk is free at 30A lactation. Dads, your support matters. It strengthens mom and helps baby, and it brings you closer. Learn more ways to support your family's feeding plan. Schedule a consultation with 30A lactation. Call now, 678-836-8962 for 30A lactation.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
The ACC Championship on ESPN Radio.
The magic continues.
Get into it, ranked 17th in the nation. Virginia faces 7-5 Duke. With a win, Virginia is heading to the playoff. If Duke wins, here comes the chaos.
3 at the 20. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
Number 17, Virginia, Duke.
Coverage starts Saturday at 6:30, kickoff at 7 on your home for college football on the Gulf Coast.
104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. This is the Sports Blitz. We don't just talk sports. We start fires. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're live, local, and worldwide right here in the CBC Construction Studio. Beautiful Panama City Beach, Florida. Don't forget, tomorrow, did I say tomorrow? Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we will be giving away Jaguar tickets versus the Jets. So week 15, the Jaguars versus the Jets. We're going to be giving those tickets away at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Guess what else happens tomorrow? I told you we were going to make the announcement, and we are going to make the announcement. We have coming on the show via phone line, Jermaine Funnyman Johnson from Alabama. And we're excited about that. We're going to have him come on the show tomorrow. He is coming on at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
On the radio?
On the radio.
I mean, no, on the phone?
On the phone line.
On the phone,
yeah,
okay.
He'll be on the phone line.
I thought I'd get to meet him in person.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Well, your big arms would be a little impressive.
Struggle win, struggle win.
Struggle win, struggle win. So we're going to have him tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Don't miss it. It's going to be a fun time. He's hilarious, and he is a big Alabama fan. So we're going to do that. So we got some games to go over this weekend, and with that being said, Brandon, roll them out from top to bottom, and please do not let the last game that we pick be some kind of group of 4, group of 12.
No, we're gonna start with the 2 group of 5 games is what we're gonna start with.
All right.
So the first one's gonna be your Sun Belt Championship.
Woo!
That is big old Troy versus JMU, James Madison. You have an 8-4 Troy traveling, and where are they playing this one at? This one's at Bridgeport Stadium in Harrisburg, Virginia.
Which is where JMU is.
Yeah,
and guess what their colors are?
So they get to host their own conference championship?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
The group of 5 does?
That's the only way you can sell that many tickets.
Okay. All right, so
nobody's traveling to watch that. Go ahead.
Now, listen, they put a Buc-ee's there in Harrisonburg.
It's probably the biggest attraction there, honestly.
It was actually one of the biggest grand openings for a Buc-ee's. Actually, I believe it's the biggest Buc-ee's in the world.
Really?
They put in Harrisonburg, yeah.
Those gas stations are no joke.
And what is the Duke's colors?
Purple and gold?
You got it, baby.
No, theirs is a real gold, not an ugly yellow.
Yeah, it's
there's not like a pea yellow.
Yeah, ours
it's like
more
an actual
like a
gold.
yellow. Theirs is like really gold.
It's a real gold.
Well,
give me James Madison.
Can I just say this though? I mean, we did not know that we were in the greatness of Jeffrey of knowing all the trivia questions for Buc-ee's. So there you go. I mean, you just opened my mind.
Don't be knocking my Buc-ee's, boy.
I'm gonna also go with JMU on this one. I think they're a much better team. Now that I know these group of 5s are playing at home, I think that serves a huge advantage, especially with their fan and their crowd and the momentum. So I'm going to pick JMU on that one.
So I'm just surprised that you guys didn't let me go first since that last week. What did I go last week for college?
10-0.
Oh, my God.
10-0.
It's awful.
How did we let that even happen?
How did that not be made known? I would have made sure all of y'all and everybody.
I thought I was going to get gift cards from both of you guys, but I didn't. Nothing happened.
You know what's worse? You know what's worse though?
What?
Not only, of course, did he pick Bama, but he didn't pick Tennessee or LSU. He was going against both of us.
So sick. So sick.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, I don't want JMU to make it. So I'm hoping that Troy wins, but I know that JMU is probably going to win. So give me JMU.
All right, we're going to travel to the American Championship now. We have North Texas at Tulane. Jeff?
Give me North Texas.
North Texas.
Even in your Tulane shirt you're wearing?
That's not really the Tulane green, but that's okay.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Green Wave. I'm going to go with Tulane on on this one. I just, think that the home field advantage is going to carry them to the win.
Summerall's coming back to coach them.
Yeah.
Now, is the North Texas coach, is he going to be coaching them or not?
I think so. I haven't heard anything different.
So that's going to matter.
I mean, I love your North Texas quarterback story. Like, I was sitting here like, because I picked them up. I think when you had them on the slate earlier in the year, I picked them and they won when y'all were looking at me sideways, and I was like, all right. But yeah, I'm going to roll with Tulane.
Yeah, I think Tulane's going to get them too. And the reason why is because I think with him coming back to coach them, I think Summerall coming back, I think he's going to be able to sell to those kids, hey, this is our last opportunity. And they get a chance to watch the playoff committee to see if they're going to make it to the playoffs. I think that's a big deal. So give me Tulane.
You look at their schedule, North Texas, and their season went pretty good.
Oh, it did.
But the one game I watched the most of was when they got throttled by South Florida, 63-36.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
it was bad.
All right, so we have the Big 12 championship. We've got BYU versus Texas Tech. They are playing in Arlington, Texas.
This is going to be interesting because it does have playoff indications for both teams.
Both teams.
I don't think Texas Tech, if they lose, that they are automatically in. I don't. I know they're ranked high. I know that. But I just don't see them getting in. I don't see them letting two of those teams get in. And that's just that would be, I think I would throw up. Not throw up in my mouth, but actually throw up if they did. With that being said, I don't think we're going to have to worry about it. I think Texas Tech is going to beat them.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech's going to win too. Even if they didn't, I don't see how they could keep them out. That would go against everything. That would go against everything they preached about on these championship weekends. I don't see BYU blowing them out. So if they lost by a field goal or a touchdown, unfortunately, I think we're going to have two Big 12 teams in.
Yeah.
I think Texas Tech is going to win this, but I think they're not going to be able to close it out till about 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. I'm calling a 9-point win for Texas Tech.
Well, I'm just going to tell Texas Tech this. If any alumni or anybody from Texas Tech, if you're tied to the Texas Tech football team, if you get a suspicious box of crumble cookies, don't eat them. All right? I'm just telling you, because those, BYU crumble cookies, they're the deal. So either way, Texas Tech.
All right, we're traveling about 5 hours north to Atlanta, Georgia. We got Georgia versus Alabama in Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Oof.
Jeff, what are you thinking here?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to hold back from telling a Mormon joke.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Sorry.
Let's behave here.
Yes.
Please.
I'm sorry. Georgia's going to beat Bama? Sure.
By how much? How much do you, because the spread is
I'm gonna go
2.5, right?
I'm going to go 10.
You think they're going to beat them by 10
I think
points?
they're going to beat them by 10.
I'm also picking Georgia. And this one, the spread's 2.5.
Yeah.
As you said, it's hard to beat the same team twice in 1 year. And going off of what you preached to me about 10, 15 minutes ago with zero confidence. And with that, I have to roll with Georgia in this one.
Yeah, I don't think Alabama is going to falter in this game, actually. I think they're going to do pretty well. I think they're going to play to their competition. So with that being said, I'm going to take the upset here. I think Alabama is going to win. I think the reasoning behind it is the fact of one thing and one thing only. We play pretty good against a running quarterback that's not elusive. Gunnar Stockton, as good as he is and as good as he has been for Georgia, I think our linebackers are able to catch him, whereas Trinidad Chambliss, whereas Van Buren, those kind of guys that are a little bit faster, I don't think we can get to him as well. So give me Alabama. What I was saying earlier is I don't see the confidence in the playoff, but I think Bama covers and wins this game outright.
If y'all beat Georgia and you don't think your mojo, your confidence is back?
I just think we match up well with them.
Okay.
I just do. I just think we match up well with them. I don't think we match up well with Ole Miss. I don't think we match up well with Oklahoma. I just don't. I think Mateer is a better athlete than Gunnar Stockton. I think the non-athletic quarterback we do better against.
Understood. I mean, Alabama's always had a fast, strong defense. You've always been quick on that side of the ball, so I could see where if you had somebody less mobile, you can kind of keep containment a little better.
And we love to see, comments on our Facebook page. Ginger Godwin says, "Go Dogs, y'all don't have a chance." So thank you for that. Appreciate that.
All right. So after choosing that one, we're going to travel even a little further up north to Indianapolis, to this Indiana-Ohio State game, number 1 and number 2, where if you want to go to this game, you will have to fork out a hefty $650 to attend this game.
That's the cheap ticket.
That is the tickets as low as $650. So
That's
you're
crazy.
right.
Wow. This is a big one. Jeffrey, we're going to let you go first. This is a big one.
Let me ask you a question, because I remember my Bama friends went up to Indianapolis to watch a Alabama-Georgia national championship. Would you pay $650 to see Alabama and Georgia in a national championship game in Indianapolis in the snow?
No, it's inside.
It's in a dome.
No, the snow is outside, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But my friend, she was complaining about it being like, I don't know, 16 degrees or something stupid like that day. She complained.
Yeah.
But I think what she was really upset about was Bama lost that game.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Ohio State, though this is the one where I'm almost wanting to call the upset, because I think Ohio State hasn't been tested. But, of course, Indiana hasn't either, so,
So you're going Ohio State?
I'm going to Ohio State, but I almost want to take Indiana. This will be the closest game of the whole weekend.
I am going to take Indiana on this one. Man, they're both in the Big Ten. I think both to be true, that neither one of them have been tested. I've just not seen Ohio State's offense, other than when they played Gramble, I believe, explode like Indiana's offense.
When they beat Illinois, it was shocking.
Oh, yeah, when they beat Illinois, it was like 70-something to 3. It's something ridiculous. So I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to say Indiana wins this one and makes this college football playoffs a little interesting.
Can I tell you that I don't think either team's understanding of the game is going to waver? And when I say this, I think you'll understand where I'm going with this. Both teams know that they're in the playoff. Both teams know that there's a chance that they could play each other. So there's a little bit of cat and mouse here that's going to be played.
Agreed.
So I don't think they're going to open up all of their bells and whistles. I don't think they're going to do everything they can. Ohio State's won the Big Ten championship before. Indiana has not. I think it's going to mean more to Indiana. I think so. With that being said, I think Indiana is going to try to win this game harder than Ohio State. Do I think Ohio State has the talent to win? Yes. Do I think they can win this game? Yes. But I do think Indiana is still playing for people to believe in them.
I agree with
yes,
that.
They've been ranked number 2 all year for the most part. Yes, they've had to come out and show everybody week in, week out if they're for real or not. But I think this game is going to matter more to Indiana. And with that being said, I think Indiana wins the game.
Wow.
Because I think Ohio State knows that, hey, if we don't win this game, or if we do win this game, it's really not going to drop us out too bad. So we'll still get to do what we want to do in the future. So I think Indiana wins this game, and the reasoning behind it is because I think I still think they feel like they're the little brother of the Big Ten, and they're going to need to win this game to give themselves, a presence in the country.
No, I agree with that. I believe they still feel like they feel doubted, that they haven't necessarily made it a statement. This game right here is probably one of the biggest games in Indiana football history. If they get this win, probably the biggest win in Indiana football
I'm going to make
history.
a big prediction right now. Whoever wins this game will not win the national title. Boom. There you go.
Wow.
I can see both these teams losing in the playoffs, with that being said. So, looks like we all picked that one. So where are we going now? We are going to the East Coast. We're going to Charlotte, North Carolina. We have Duke takes on the Cavaliers, Virginia.
Virginia by 16.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
I think they're going to score in the 30s. I think Duke's defense is really kind of rotten. They allowed UConn 37 points. Tell me if that's not sickening.
Yeah, that is pretty sickening, and it would be very reflective from the first time they played, literally 3 weeks ago, when Virginia beat them 34-17. You know, I'm ready for some chaos. I want to see Duke win. Not necessarily that I think they're going to win, but I want to see them win. I want to see the turmoil. So I'm going to go with the Dukies.
Okay, give me Virginia. I think that's going to do it because Duke is not going to cause any chaos. Virginia's going to win. They're going to get to go to the playoff, and then they're going to get throttled by whoever they play.
And then he gets to see a different orange.
Yeah.
Virginia's orange.
Blah. I hate orange. But either way, this has been a great show. Thanks for listening. Tomorrow, don't forget Jag tickets as well as Jermaine Funny Mane Johnson right here on the Sports Blitz. Thanks so much for listening. Be safe out there. It's wet. We'll see you tomorrow.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
In the state of South Carolina, some little boys and some little girls grew up to be Gamecocks fans. And this time, come Saturday, we'll be on Stunk All Day Host out Navy crying, eating that leftover Gamecock turkey sandwich. 50% off all chickens. Let's go, Clemson Nation.